another edition, technically, Harry Mays and Eitan Shander, 76ers fourth quarter live, courtesy of our great friends at FanCred. So, again, fourth quarter live is cool because even in a blowout like you're seeing right now, and we're going to talk throughout this third quarter and into the fourth quarter, and hopefully the Sixers can make this close and respectable, even though they do have all three starters and down J.J. Redick and down Chandler, and we know the bench has some issues. So we'll talk through this, but the beauty of this is that it's all about you and it's all about interacting, and we'll get Harry up here in a matter of minutes, seconds, but really for you, you can chat in the box below, type in everything on whatever you're reacting to or any type of conversation that you have, and then there's also the go live that you can go right there at the top and put your face on there. We've had some people jump in each week. Now, we have a pretty good record so far. This case tonight, I think what you're seeing ultimately is the Raptors just dominating and knowing that going into this game it would be tough, down two starters, two guys that they relied on, mainly J.J. Redick, to get a lot of offense against a team like Toronto, but also just how good and dangerous this Raptors team can be. And yes, we've seen Toronto in years past flail out, and we've seen this Raptors team just struggle mightily in the postseason, be paper champs, meaning that they win a regular season and bow out really bad in the postseason. But things are different. And maybe you don't realize it. Maybe it doesn't hit home until you actually see it up close and personal, and you just see the magnitude of a guy like Kawhi Leonard. Now, again, we can have this conversation as we continue into the third quarter, and hopefully as they're down, we can kind of see the Sixers just make something of this game. Asking them to win this game, I think at this point would be too much, but we go on runs. We've seen this before. You have your top three guys out there. So there's really two schools of thought right now. I don't think it's about conceding anything. Here we go. Can you hear me?
But I don't hear anything.
Well, that's all right.
Harry, hold on.
I think you have two schools of thought right now. As Harry's working through his issue, I'll just talk through mine. On one hand, it's no Redick, no Chandler. You go into this game down. You go into this game knowing that you don't have the offense and, in some cases, some defense that you would need in order to just help sustain. There we go. That's the difference. Hello, Harry.
And thank you for joining me.
Well, we appreciate you hopping on with us. You look like Mertitas.
What do you mean?
You got the hat low. You got the scruffy beard.
Oh, yeah.
You got the
I look like I'm at a hockey game.
You do.
Like at the rink in Aston, PA, or for like a 10 o'clock start.
Yeah, you look like you're lost somewhere outside of Lake Placid right now.
Right. And it's ironic you say that because you know, as I do, today was a 60-plus degree day.
Yes.
And golf course today.
I have no doubt about that. Nobody's going to deny that at all. Everybody's going to believe that if there's any moment that you could get out and escape to the golf course, especially on 60-degree day, you're there by all means. So we've got another – it's getting closer.
It's getting closer. You're down 10.
Right. But at the beginning, before you got on here, it wasn't as close, and you were still in blowout territory. Right? So at the moment, I think there's a kind of like a couple of schools of thought right now. And one would be you're down Redick, you're down Chandler. You go into this expecting the Raptors to just beat you. Yes, it's at home, but let's be honest, Kawhi, Lowry playing tonight, that's just going to overpower you. Or
I was not expecting that. I got to be honest with you.
Well, that's what I was saying. I think you.
I know the Redick thing was a late scratch too because he's got no.
I know that screwed you on the number.
It did. It did.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, the number was 4.5. It went down to 2.5, and I thought there was value there with the Sixers at 2.5.
Right.
I took it, and then all of a sudden we get a late scratch from Redick.
Yeah, that's the big difference here. And we saw Wilson Chandler out. And maybe you look at this and think, hey, you've got your top three guys. Any team that has star power like Simmons, Embiid, and Butler shouldn't be getting their ass kicked as bad as they were in the first half.
Exactly.
I think that's where you and I probably stand more so than, hey, concede an ass whooping in the first half that maybe you can kind of come back.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget Valanciunas is out too for Toronto. He's a good player for them.
Not Salanciunas.
Not Andrew Salanciunas. No, but I mean, like you think about this, and this is a team that came off a big road trip. We talked about it for the last couple of episodes on FanCred about that big trip. They beat Golden State. That was a huge win. It was a great night for Ben Simmons, probably his best night as a pro. And then they go to Sacramento, which was pretty predictable that they would have a letdown on the last game of a road trip after a big win like that. But then they come home against a team like Toronto, who's a team that they know if they're going to try to get to the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals, they're going to have to figure out a way to beat. And they came out flat, Eitan. I don't care about no Redick. I don't care about no Wilson Chandler. That was a BS start for a team. And I don't know where else to look for or to look to except the leaders on this team and the head coach.
Yeah, I don't know how has this team so ill-prepared for an energy and momentum game. You're right. You have every reason to be absolutely right about this.
I know it's February in the NBA. I get it. But this game tonight should be different for this team.
Yeah, and I think that's where I hate to say youth, but you saw frustration with Jimmy Butler on the bench. You saw frustration with Jimmy Butler going after Korkmaz in the first half. So I think that have a sense of, come on, like letdown that young kids would come out. And you know what? Embiid and Simmons are in that category as well. And I'm not praising nor putting Jimmy Butler on a pedestal because he's part of this as well. But this team should not be putting themselves in a position where they're crawling and struggling to stay alive down 12.
No, I agree, especially at home. Now, Butler looked like he just had a bad turnover there. It's on him. He's not perfect either. But I'm just saying, like, he's the kind of veteran that he knows what this means, and he knows where they are in the schedule. He's been there before. And this is a night where these young guys got to get ignited. And I just did not see it from jump against this team. Not really disappointed.
And Vic brings up in the comments that there's a clear need for depth, and without Wilson Chandler tonight, you see it even more. Ask about Dario Saric. I don't think they're going to get him back anytime soon. No. But when you go into this is coming back from a road trip. You want to play like this, talk to me game 4 of a 5-game swing out west. Talk to me when you're in California after you sludge through Minnesota and Houston and Utah. Yep. Right, then let's
back, whatever. Yeah. 3 games in 4 nights, the whole deal.
But that's the thing. Like I'm glad you feel this way. As much as I'd like to yell at you about this tonight, I'm glad you feel about this because I think that it's logical that you've got 3. Redick's out late scratch, no Chandler. You're down 2 starters, but your 3 starters are there, and I think this speaks a little bit more about how the 3 of these guys on the court at the same time still haven't found their rhythm. We still haven't seen it consistent enough. I'll say that. Maybe not. We've seen the rhythm there here and there, but not consistent enough with these 3 guys, Harry.
No, you're right. I mean,
example of it. You want to beat the crap out of the Knicks with these 3 guys? Go ahead. Yeah, but when the Raptors coming into town, you got to show me more, and you more too.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, you got a game against the Celtics next week. I believe it's a Tuesday or Wednesday night. That's leading into the All-Star break. They got the Knicks, I think, after that. But there's certain teams on the schedule, especially the Eastern Conference teams. Now it's great that they beat the Warriors. Especially a team that the Warriors weren't sitting 3 guys. I know they were down one of their starters and so forth. But that was a great win, and that's awesome. But in this league, if you're going to be a team that's going to go deep and you're going to beat teams in 7-game series, you got to go the next night or 2 nights later and beat the Sacramento Kings, who I know are a better team way better team than they've been in the past. I get it. But real good teams find a way to win that game. And especially if they don't win that game, they come back tonight at home pissed off and knowing they're playing a team that they have had a record of 3-20 since the 2013-2014 season against this franchise. And that's with different guys. They don't beat this team. So tonight you step up and you come out with a home crowd who's anxious to see you again and fired up, and you come out with an inspired effort. And they were not inspired in that first quarter. They got lambasted, and I haven't seen a pickup in the effort tonight, even though they're down 14.
They're down 14. They call the timeout. Simmons misses a layup, and then they get a bucket down low, and that stretches it now to 14. And here's the thing. You've got about 16 and a half minutes left in this game, but
there's plenty of time.
Yeah, but there's time. But at what point did you, even though they were down 10 at one point, at what point have you ever seen this team tonight with the expectation that all of a sudden they turn it on and the Raptors would allow them? It's one thing to say, hey, we've got our mojo, we've got our energy back. It's the fourth quarter, 8 minutes left. Let's buckle down and make shots. But I don't see the Raptors giving. I don't see.
No, the Raptors aren't going to give. You're going to have to take. Yeah. You know that. They're deep. They play good defense. Tonight, in these final couple minutes, now you're going to have to see, because I'm not going to put this on Ben or Joel right now. Now I want to see Jimmy step in here and be the go-to guy here and get this team back in the game before the fourth quarter starts.
All right, it's Sixers Fourth Quarter Live, courtesy of the great people at FanCred. We appreciate everybody downloading the app, interacting. Max, Vic have some comments. We'll get to them. Feel free to chat in exactly as they come right back from this. And also, you can go live, publish at the top right, and pop on. Your face will be right next to our two ugly mugs. It can't be any worse than what you're seeing right now. Max on the app asks.
This looks good.
Exactly. Well,
are you kidding me?
It's a little fuzzy, so that's probably why. Light may not be your best friend. Hey, so Max on the app asks us, who are we most frustrated with from this performance tonight? And says maybe Jimmy's not quite the captain of the ship he imagines himself to be.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in him. I am.
Well, he's not playing tonight.
What?
Oh, Jimmy Butler. I thought I
Butler.
I'm
disappointed in him.
I think Butler is a guy, his energy was there. This is one of these Embiid nights.
Yeah.
I'm really disappointed. And Embiid's minus 13 right now. The team's down 15. And, Embiid is minus 13. Mm-hmm. Now, there shouldn't be anybody on that end that should be dominating him to the level of Serge Ibaka, plus 19.
Yeah,
and this is an Embiid game in which I think that we talked about them coming out flat. All right, if they're going to crowd Simmons and if they're going to force him to be uncomfortable shooting the basketball, there isn't anybody right now who could do the same with Embiid. And it just seemed like it wasn't there, and now it's too little too late. So I'd say Embiid more than Butler for me tonight, but I am frustrated with Butler number 2.
I'm frustrated with Butler. I would say, I'm looking for veteran leadership in a game like this, so I'll go him 1 and Embiid 2. I'll flip-flop.
Yeah. Got it. Fan line right there at the top corner. Just pop in. We'll put your mug right up there. You can chat with us. So Vic asks, he's assuming at this point, Vic, most of Sixers fans, including him, didn't know enough about Butler. His game's very good. His offense is passive. He's so hard to get a read on. Thought he would be a Butler game with JJ out against Toronto. And I think both of us are looking at it like with Simmons and the staple of Simmons, it really was an opportunity for either, if not both, Embiid and Butler to step up in that first quarter. And that's why we're looking right now at a blowout. It's not just Kawhi Leonard and Lowry making shots tonight and Serge Ibaka playing a little defense.
Yeah, I mean, Lowry's got 20, Ibaka's got 18, Leonard's got 16.
And Leonard's not having a great night.
No, he's not. He's not at all. And you look at what the Sixers have been doing from 3-point range. I mean, 28%, 4 of 14 as a team. That's pretty much a big component of how any team in the NBA wins, including them. And I, the Redick scratch was a big deal to me tonight. I was kind of kicked in the groin when I found that out. Right.
Well, from a betting standpoint, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, totally. But I mean, that's a big part of it. And you know what? It's not even just the 3-pointers. It's the energy that he provides with the way that he plays offensively. He's one of those guys that he's like a whirling dervish running off screens and, at a high rate to get open and get shots. And I think it provides a certain amount of energy for this team offensively, and they're missing that tonight.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. You don't see that energy, that charge. JJ's always talking, his mouth's always moving.
Everything's at a fast pace with him.
Yeah, and they do have that ability to get some quick buckets fast. Mm-hmm. Where if you get a 3 from Redick, you get a stop, you get another 3 from Redick, all of a sudden 30 seconds are off the clock. You've cut the lead by 6.
And the building is alive.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I mean? Think about it. Look at this home crowd. I mean, they're coming down there fired up to see them stand up in a measuring stick game against Toronto, and there's no energy in that building, and I don't blame the fans.
Yeah, but part of me, though, a lot of me, I should say, though, looks at that and says that's problematic if veteran Jimmy Butler, Joel Embiid, who is electric in his own right, and Ben Simmons, who's feeding off the crowd as well, if those 3 guys can't overcome from an energy standpoint the loss of J.J. Redick, isn't that a deeper issue?
Well, it could be, except that 2 of the 3 of those guys are young guys. I mean, think about how many playoff games they've played in their career. You know what I mean? Like this is still a learning experience, and I hate to sound like an apologist, but it kind of is. I mean, you look, there's not a lot of veteran leadership on this team.
No.
I mean,
there's Jimmy Butler leadership, which I think maybe is a bigger statement with him. But I just feel like from a talent standpoint, this game was closer. But from a preparation and energy and give a damn standpoint, the Sixers are just a mile away from the Raptors.
Yes, tonight they are. There's no doubt about it. It looks like Toronto comes in here tonight and says, you know what, this team doesn't beat us. I'm sick of all the swagger from this team. I'm sick of the hype about this team. We're just going to step on their neck tonight, and we're going to do it from the get-go.
Yes, and John brings this up as far as the blowout, saying it just shows how lacking the supporting cast truly is when one of the 4, including Redick, is out. They don't have the consistency that steps up. And I think John brings up the biggest issue that this team has had, to be fair, even when Redick plays and Chandler plays, and that's the bench. The bench is not ideal. People are saying, we miss Corey Brewer tonight. The bench needs help, and we're going to see Elton Brand's going to do something. But
you got a day and a half, less than 2 days to do it.
Correct. And then the buyouts come if it's Wesley Matthews from New York or somebody else. But putting the lack of depth aside, because that's something that we knew ahead of time, I just feel a little uncomfortable taking Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid off the hook because they're young in a huge game at home in which they've been in the league long enough to know that this is a big one. This is a big one, man. And maybe they are sitting back resting on what happened with Golden State and thinking that it's just easier. And in reality, Toronto comes in. And here's the thing. Like they did a good job. If you were to tell me that Kawhi Leonard is 3 of 10 and that 11 of his 19 points have come from the free throw line, and Kyle Lowry has been forced into some bad shots. I mean, he's taken some good threes, but he's been forced into some bad shots inside the 3-point line, and now you're getting blown out. Something has gone significantly wrong.
Yeah, it just seems like a totally uninspired effort tonight all around, and I'm shocked by that. I really am. Whether we talk about the inexperience of some of these guys, regardless. I mean, if you're Ben Simmons, if you're Joel Embiid, you're coming off that good road trip, a big win against Golden State. Tonight's another night. You're on TNT too. You just want to lay the smack down and say, you know what? Yeah, exactly. I mean, shouldn't that count for something to give a little inspiration? They are flat.
Yeah, it's just uninspired. You just saw Ben Simmons back down two guys, no fake, no move to get anybody up, just turns around and rims out, a 6-foot shot. That's just no inspiration or creativity to try to get to the line or try to get a guy up, anything like that. It's just, all right, get a shot up and keep moving. This team looks like they're just going through motions right now, and I don't know why. I was going to say how, but I don't know why they haven't snapped out of it. I don't. But at this point, it's too little too late. I mean, they may go on a run. They're down 17 as the quarter's ending right now. I mean, what are you really expecting in this fourth quarter?
Well, I mean,
entertainment from you and I.
Hey, in the NBA, anything can happen. I mean, 17 points can disappear in 4.5 minutes.
Well,
we've seen it.
It would take a ton for that to happen.
Well, but it's the case of a team like Toronto that plays well defensively and has, rotates 10 guys that can all play. And I really think that there's some sort of inner will with them about the Sixers right now, where they're like, look, we own you. We own you.
Right.
You're not getting past us in the East. And you damn sure we came in here and laid the smack down on you in the first half, first quarter, and your home court tonight, and you're giving up, and we know it. And they can run that they can run that kind of smack on them.
Yeah, I think you're right. Now, James asks the hypothetical, qualifying that it won't happen, but would you trade Simmons and a 1 for Anthony Davis? I would.
What are you going to do with it? You're going to have Anthony Davis and Embiid on the court?
Yeah, they had Anthony Davis and Cousins.
Yeah. No, I'm not doing that deal.
No?
No.
He asks, who says no? Not me, Mays.
Well, there's one guy that I would trade Embiid
for Betty Davis?
And I've said it for the last 2 years, and that's Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
I would trade Embiid. That's the only guy I would trade Embiid for.
Well, and Anthony Davis, they're not even playing as much underneath as Cousins and Davis were. I mean, you've essentially got two big guys that can play out.
You're saying you do it.
Yeah, at this point, why the hell not?
Yeah. Why not? No, I'm not doing that.
Really?
No.
Why spice things up down there? All right? These guys are flat. All right.
You want spice? I got green and the regular Tabasco upstairs. I put it in everything. That's spice. I'm not trading Ben Simmons.
Wait, the green?
Not for that.
The green chili spice?
Yes.
Now that's an underrated spice.
Not the stinks green chili.
No.
Not that. That's good though too.
Nah, I'm out on that stink.
No, that's good. That's good.
I've had it. It's garbage.
I hung out with him in Radio Row. We sampled a little of the green chili. It's good stuff.
Oh, is that guy still shilling that chili?
Yeah. Him and Leslie Visser were walking around. I was chatting with him.
Oh, yeah? The two of you and Leslie Visser?
She's a legend.
Oh, of course. She's a Hall of Famer. You know that, right?
Yes.
He's in the Hall of Famer. Like that. Yeah. Did you bring that up? Did you bring Bob? Did you bring Bob Visser up?
Bob Visser? No, I did not.
That's her brother who's a spotter for the NFL.
Well, she's got a couple of brothers. She's got another brother that's involved in PR too. There's a lot of Vissers.
Is that Jerry Visser?
No. Stop.
All right. Theme says this is so bleep. Can we curse on this, Cam? I don't know. I mean, you typed it, so I didn't want to.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is – of course we can. This is so fucking disappointing. What the bleep? When are we going to beat this dumbass team?
Well, I mean, they beat them, this year when nobody was playing.
They're not going to beat this team. They're not going to beat them this year. If they go up against them in the playoffs, Harry, they're going to get the shit kicked out of them.
Yeah.
It's going to be a 5-game embarrassment. They might get swept out of the building.
I don't think they get swept. I think 5. I think you're on point with 5. I think they'd find a way to win one. But it's really disappointing. I mean, you look at Toronto, and the thing is nobody no NBA fan really looks at Toronto as like a force, even with Kawhi. Like nobody's thinking about them. Like they're thinking about the Celtics. They're thinking about Antetokounmpo with the Bucs and all these some of these other teams in the East.
Right.
And then of course there's Golden State and Houston in the West. Nobody thinks that Toronto could do it. I actually think they could be a force that could actually have a chance to win the NBA championship. They go 10, 11 deep and they play defense.
I don't know at this point how you negate that interior presence that Golden State has now with DeMarcus Cousins. It just makes things so – now you're right. They do have the waves to go at you, with Ibaka. And
but they never get respect is my point. You know what I mean? Like
they've got – they bow out every time. Before they got Leonard, they were trash.
Yeah, well, I'm saying now with Kawhi Leonard, I mean, they got a top 5 player in the league.
Correct, and I think now they're as legit as it gets. I agree with you.
Yeah,
this is a legit team that will win. This is what LeBron and Cleveland were, but a better team around Kawhi Leonard. I don't think that they can beat the Warriors, but I would be shocked if they don't cruise through the Eastern Conference. When you see this, Larry, they were already designed to do well in 7-game series. They just didn't have a guy like Kawhi Leonard. They were deep enough.
Right.
So this team right now should cruise through the Eastern Conference.
They should. Now, what about the Anthony Davis situation? Obviously, there's a trade deadline on Thursday afternoon. It came out yesterday or today that the Lakers, Clippers, Bucs, and Knicks are the teams that he will accept a trade to. Were you somewhat surprised by that with Bucs and Knicks?
Bucs, no, I was surprised with the Bucs. Absolutely. Yeah. I don't think that that's a viable option, and that would be a bridge that I won't believe will be crossed until they're actually crossing it. But let's be honest, the Knicks are always a destination. The difference is that while people want to go play for the Knicks, they have been so bad and mismanaged contracts and money that there hasn't been an opportunity for guys to go play. Like when you've got Noah and other scrubs locked up to these ridiculous contracts, you can't take advantage of players wanting to come play there. So now they're actually in a position where I think they can be a destination. Both LA teams are in there as well. So there shouldn't be a shock by any means that those are the two teams. Or really those teams outside of Milwaukee, I should say.
Do you think a deal gets done before the deadline with the Lakers?
No. I think that they're trying to spite Rich Paul as much as humanly possible. And they're going to wait. Yeah, and that's their right, and they definitely have some sort of recourse here. Anthony asks us on the app, who is the worst matchup for the Sixers in the postseason, Raptors or the Bucs?
I think it's this team without question.
It's Kawhi Leonard more so than anything else because Giannis is still unproven. Giannis can make a mistake. Giannis can be game planned in the postseason. Things slow down a little bit. His lack of consistency from shooting becomes a little bit more of an issue. Giannis, I don't know what he is yet. I do know what Kawhi Leonard is, and he's a damn champion.
Yeah, well, plus, I mean, the Sixers have beaten Milwaukee. I mean, that's like a fair fight kind of thing. They've gone to Milwaukee and won in Milwaukee. They've gone there without some of their big-time players and beaten Milwaukee over the past year or two. So they've got a track record of being able to beat that team. They don't beat this squad. 20-3 is Toronto's record since 13-14 season. And that's a lot of different rosters. They just don't win.
Yeah, but it's one coach. We're talking really one coach for the most part.
Yeah, well, now they got a new guy.
No, Brett Brown.
Oh. I thought you meant the Raptors.
A lot of those games are on Brett Brown.
Right.
Listen to this. TA, this coach has no fire. Wake your fucking team up. I'm not saying he sucks, but Brett has never out-coached anyone I know. The talent is not on the floor. You're better than this.
Well, that's interesting because at some point, and you know this with NBA teams, it's not just the Sixers. You get a group of guys together for a while, and they reach a certain plateau, or they just show an inability to beat a certain team that you know you're going to have to get past in your division, your conference, whatever it is. And ownership looks around and says, well, we kind of like the roster.
Yep.
It's hard to trade some of these guys.
Right.
This guy's been here since how long? Maybe we need change. I like Brett Brown, but I wouldn't have any qualms about making a shift if things do not materialize this season where they don't get to that next rung. You know what I mean? They got to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Is that fair?
Eastern Conference Finals.
You got to win 2 series.
So if they don't, what are you going to say? You fire him?
I'm looking at it. Why not?
Oh.
There's plenty of coaches out there, Eitan. Plenty of guys that have dealt with players like this, talented players. I kind of look at Brett Brown as a great nurturer, and I've said this for a couple of years. He's a good guy. He was perfect for the whole, tank thing and, the process and all that kind of thing. At some point, you get to a level where you need another guy to get these guys to respond and get to the next level. And maybe we are seeing that. I'm not saying it right now, but they don't get to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think there's a discussion.
Huh. See,
you haven't thought that?
Yeah, I don't think that the team – you're talking about a squad that wins back-to-back 50 games.
I don't care about 50 games. I care about playoffs.
Well, if you're losing to the Boston –
What do we care about 52 games and one series we win and then we're bounced in the second round? Who gives a shit about that?
Because you're getting bounced by a team who's most likely going on and representing the Eastern Conference.
Well, you got to beat them.
But who's out there?
You got Jimmy Butler, Ben Simmons, and Joel Embiid. Find a way to win.
You're going to bring Rick Carlisle here? Like, who the hell?
I don't care who it is.
Well, you're going to have to find somebody. This is not the NFL. You can't.
That's not my job. But there's plenty of coaches out there.
You can't pull Becky Hammond off the bench and expect some defensive or offensive coordinator to take over and grow into his head coaching position.
Yeah.
All
okay.
right?
Yeah, I'm going to get Matt Hammond, our old producer. And his 14 computer screens. He used to sit down there producing a show looking like he was launching a space shuttle. I'll get him.
Isn't he in Houston?
Yeah, I think he is. Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah, seriously. You can't get any Hammond. I don't care if it's Becky Hammond. You couldn't get Becky Norton, Ed Norton, anybody coming out here. All right?
Well, what's another good Becky? Becky. It's not a very common name.
No, it's more like Rebecca, right?
Well, yeah, it's short for Rebecca, but who goes by Becky? That's hot. I don't know what Becky Hammond looks like. I don't care. No, give me hot Becky.
I mean, you had Rebecca Romaine. Rebecca, right? Rebecca De Mornay.
Rebecca. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Rebecca De Mornay. Yes,
you don't like Rebecca Romaine, though?
Yeah.
Do you even know who the hell that is?
Wasn't she an athlete?
Yeah. What about Becky G? Better known by her stage name, Becky G. Rebecca Marie Gomez.
Becky G.
An American singer and actress. First gained recognition in 2011 when she began.
Is she related to Kenny G?
No.
No.
Well,
okay.
I know you know this name, Rebecca Love.
Yes, yeah. I do.
There you go.
I do.
There's one up there. Now there's also Rebecca Blue too.
Oh yeah, of course. Anybody with the last name Blue, I know what they do.
Becky De Los Santos, hottest Playboy playmate of the 90s. She was in that magazine.
Is that right? See, I didn't look. I was already out of Playboy before the 90s. I was out on Playboy in the 80s.
See, now we're crossing into Becca as opposed to Becky.
I like Becca. That's a good name. But Becky,
like
I'm
Becca,
looking for a good Becky.
Yeah, Becky is like out.
Yeah.
Right? It's more of give me a Becca than Becky.
It seems that way. Now we're down 14 with 8:15 to go.
7:59 to go.
They still got a shot.
I think you're holding on to false hopes here.
They still got a shot. By the way,
they really haven't. Yeah.
I was disappointed that I couldn't get the game on TNT tonight.
Well, it's a blackout.
I know. That kind of pissed me off. I know.
But you have the app like I have the app. What's the problem?
I'm not using apps. I'm already on the FanCred app. That's the only app I need right now. I'm trying to get the goddamn game on television, and I want freaking TNT, and I wasn't able to get it.
Nobody watches TV anymore. Everybody watches stuff off apps.
Shut up.
Cut cords.
I'm 53 fucking years old. I watch TV. I pay $350 a month in cable.
Why?
Shut the fuck up.
What are you getting for $350 a month?
A lot.
No. Apparently nothing. You're getting
not TNT.
Yeah, exactly right. Maybe you can get a refund.
By the way, this is going to be our last broadcast on FanGrid. We've sworn way too much.
Maybe you can get a refund. Maybe you can only pay $348 this month instead of $350, right?
Is that right?
Who the fuck pays $350 just for cable?
Yeah. That's what
How
we
is
do.
that possible?
I've got like 16 boxes in this house. It's ridiculous.
It's you and your wife.
Yeah. I want TVs. I have TVs practically in every room.
Is there a family in there that we should know about that you're harboring? Like, how many boxes do you need?
There's no family.
Holy
shit. In the one.
All right, well, now they're down 10. We got something going, right?
Here we go. See? You have little faith.
I have no faith. This is zero faith right now.
I want everybody to know that's listening right now that you bailed on this team about 10 minutes ago.
All right, I also then remind everybody, but I was the one that stuck with Landry Shamet that night, and everybody, including Alshon Jeffrey, bailed on him. All right?
Yeah.
So just remind everybody there before you rip me for bailing tonight.
Yeah, good. All right,
so
now, dude,
Matt,
tell you.
Matt says that TNT is the stupid players-only shit. What is that?
Oh, it is?
Yeah, but what is that? You have to buy it?
No, I don't think you have to buy it. I think it's just because we have a local broadcast and then the TNT. But like, I just wanted to have access to the halftime show, and
so you could see Maroon 5.
What? Yeah, of course.
Adam Levine.
There we go.
Here we have it. 7-0.
The big man is coming.
9-0 run. You got a 9-0 run. Full time.
Yeah, with 7 minutes to go.
That's right.
See, now, people are going to start blaming us if this game did extend into a blowout, that it's all us. Because every time we do this, it ends up being a non-interesting fourth quarter.
Yes, but to be fair, I think that we also had that Minnesota game that was a win. Not all blowouts have been losses for us.
No, I'm not saying a loss. I'm just saying sort of a non-competitive game. By the way, you have a Sports Bash T-shirt on, I see.
That's right.
You and Gil, you were on today. I know. I'm going to be guesting tomorrow at 3:30.
Yeah, is that right? You're going to come over?
He tried to get me on today at 5:30. I asked for 5:30. He said, it just got booked. So he said, can you do early? I said, no, I'm playing golf.
Now, why wouldn't he have you on when I'm on with him? Wasn't that the whole idea?
I thought you were on today, tomorrow, and the next day.
Yeah, but I was out of there at 5 o'clock today, and he's booking you for a time that I'm not there.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. Why do you leave at 5 o'clock?
Well, today I had to leave a little early.
Why?
I had something I needed to take care of.
What did you need to take care of?
I had to record a bunch of spots for a new sponsor down there, and
look at you.
The sales guy. Well, you asked, right? So I was off the air at 5, but I didn't get out of there until like 7:30 tonight.
Wow. I'll tell you what, you're allowed to leave a show to record spots for a sponsorship. That would have never flown at the old place.
There's a lot of things that would never have flown on the old place.
Yeah, that was like a no-fly zone.
No, exactly right. Not to be confused with the no-watch list that I have with a bunch of people on there that you shouldn't be watching movies with, like Owen Wilson.
Oh,
yeah,
no, we saw Luke Wilson at Radio Row.
We did. Now Luke Wilson is on the must-watch list.
I like him.
Yes. I don't know. All right, let me ask you this. Do you have a wider gap of talent of any brothers or sisters in sport or film than the Wilson brothers? I mean, Owen Wilson is just devoid of talent, and Luke Wilson's got some pretty good range. He's funny as shit. But he could also do some serious stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, Emilio Estevez and Charlie Sheen, would you say?
But the other guy made all the money. The guy with the weird nose.
Yeah, I know, Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
Because people think that he's more attractive, so he's a bubblehead.
What about well, no, probably not. George Brett and Ken Brett.
Baldwin brothers, not bad, Cam.
Yeah, well, there's four of them guys. Like
right.
The fourth guy's got zero talent.
But think about this. Alec Baldwin has more talent than the other ones combined.
Yeah. Well, the other guys don't even work anymore.
Right.
Steven and what's the other guy that was in
David?
Huh?
Billy Baldwin.
Billy Baldwin, yeah.
Right.
He was in a couple good movies in the 90s. And then he disappeared. And then the fourth guy got in a couple roles, like low-level roles, and he sucked. He's like the fat one. Like, I know Alec is fat now because all he does is drink and yell at people.
Yeah.
But the fourth guy was always fat.
That's true.
And he only got roles because he was a Baldwin.
Correct.
He had no talent at all.
Now, what about the Wahlbergs? I'd argue that just like the Baldwins, Mark Wahlberg has more talent than every other Wahlberg combined.
Well, is there more than another Wahlberg?
Yeah, there's Donnie Wahlberg, right?
Yeah, and who's the other one?
I don't know. At the very least, Donnie Wahlberg.
Yeah, I don't think there's a third one.
All right, well then Donnie Wahlberg. There you go. I mean, that's the.
If there is a third one. He's primarily running that Wahlburgers franchise that they have, and he's never been an actor.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's.
So maybe he makes a good hamburger. I don't know.
All right, 6 minutes, man. 108, 101.
7-point game.
It's getting tight right now. This Siakam, man. You like him?
How about Siakam? You got, I mean, what was he? He's a guy from Cameroon. This Luke Mbamute is supplying players. He's basically human trafficking players from Africa to the NBA. I mean, he's unbelievable.
It's the pipeline that's been established, right? Now, Jimmy is a good point. Speaking of talent gap, the difference between Ibaka and Greg Monroe, maybe the way to beat the Raptors is to draw Ibaka into foul trouble at all costs. I am surprised that they did not go at Ibaka a little bit more aggressively earlier in the game. I mean, listen, you got 5:20 left. It's a 7-point game. The Sixers can win this basketball game, but Jimmy makes a good point, which is they should have gone at Ibaka much earlier. Ibaka had an easy night tonight, and it should not have been that way. And real quick, reminder, the fan line is right there at the top of your screen. It's right there at the top corner. We've got 5 minutes left. Pop in. Just hit that button. We'll put your face right up here. You can chat with us. Everybody can react to your comments as well. It's a perfect opportunity for you to be even more involved than just chatting and writing in your message. You can actually hit that fan line in the top right of your screen and put your mug right next to our two ugly mugs as well. Miss 3, that's going to hurt.
Yeah, miss 3, the turnover. I mean, 5 minutes to go, you're down 9.
And then you have, Leonard opening things up for Ibaka. This has been way too easy. And I'm not saying it's a result of Joel Embiid's poor play. Let me qualify that. But this has just been way too easy of a night for Serge Ibaka. Like, listen, you can't – like, the guy dropped 35 tonight, and he's -6.
Yeah. You see what Siakam just did?
Well, now -8 after that bucket. Wow. Yeah. How about your boy Siakam?
Yeah, but I tell you, you couldn't have picked Siakam out of a lineup a couple of years ago, like at New Mexico or New Mexico State or wherever the hell he went. See, that's the kind of stuff that certain organizations, and Toronto's good at it, is drafting guys, second-round guys. Where I don't know where he went in the draft. It couldn't have been in the first round, right?
Right.
I'll look it up. But like finding guys like that don't cost you really any money. And let's see where he was. Oh, he was the first round. He was late first round. Yeah. 27th pick. 27th pick in the first round.
And yes, Aaron, to answer your question, the Sixers run did come with Butler on the bench. 7-point game. They're hanging around, full time out. Embiid throws it down. You ready for this, Harry?
I'm ready.
I mean, they got a big steal from McConnell, who gives it to Embiid on the break, and that right there is a huge momentum shift.
Yeah. McConnell doing what he does is he provides energy and plays hard. He plays hard on both ends of the court. He's not we all know what his shortcomings are, but the guy freaking plays hard, and I love him. As a backup player, I love him.
Well, you don't have Butler on the floor right now. Now he's back on the floor. Maybe not, actually. I wonder if they keep that lineup out there and have Butler out. I mean, you got 3:45 left.
3:47 left. You're not going to put Butler in a game?
No, yeah. At 3:47, I think you have to at this point.
You got to put him in a game.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's not in the game, I wouldn't be surprised if he walks up and just puts himself in the game.
Well, you saw the haircut that he got before the game, right?
Yeah.
So he's probably even more prone to snap or do something that he's got that fresh cut.
Yeah. I'm getting a fresh cut on Thursday.
Oh, yeah? Where are you going? Toot the Barber? My buddy up there in Olney?
No, I love that guy. I love Olney. I love Toot. But, I got my girl, Angela.
Oh, yeah.
He was a lingerie football player.
Trust me. I remember we shared a mutual friend.
Well, correct.
Correct. Yeah. Shared. Past tense is the operative term here. Yes.
Yeah.
We don't need to relive that by any means.
No, we do not.
You and I are connected way too much.
What?
There's way too much connection. Like, how did that even happen? 6 degrees.
Yeah, I don't know. Big miss by Leonard on the free throw line.
That was a big miss.
See, now this crowd needs to get freaking going here. I wonder if people left.
Yeah. Man, that's a tough miss by Landry.
It doesn't seem like there's any noise going on in there.
Down 8. That is a tough miss by Landry Shamet.
Here we go. Oh, man.
You saw it, right?
Yep. Front rimmed it.
I know. It's a good opportunity right there. Listen, and Jared says missed opportunity last 4 minutes, and I think they got it close, but a turnover. And again, it's not specific, but you just see some tough
Here we go.
passes. And that hurts you, man.
Oh, my God.
That really does hurt you.
That's a killer.
What's that, the missed 3?
The turnover.
Yeah, well, Kawhi
Butler?
I mean, Kawhi turned – yeah, Butler gets the steal.
Yeah, and then it was off him, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, you had the Embiid turnover 90 seconds ago.
Oh!
Last touch by the Raps.
They called an offensive foul?
Think so.
On who?
Landry Shamet. And Landry Shamet. Yeah, Shamet got called for that. That's game right there. Wow.
How is that a foul? Because of his legs?
I don't. Yeah.
That's horrendous.
It looks like that's what the issue was.
What is that? That like the opposite of the late closeout foul? Like they're calling it on off. I don't get that.
It's like the Draymond Green.
Like kicking your legs forward thing? That was horrendous.
Yeah, that's
a huge play.
And now they can't get a rebound. It's been 28 seconds off the clock, and finally Embiid gets a rebound to stop that nonsense. Maybe you can get something here, but that was it
should be 113, 108.
That was a fucking brutal call right there. That was a fucking terrible call. My God.
Now we have another turnover. I don't know what Simmons is doing there.
Well, that's been the story of this quarter here, is that you've gotten close, you've made a couple of runs, you've taken advantage of a really bad start.
How is that a foul on Shamet?
I don't know. Now that went in, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
He should be at the free throw line.
Simmons,
for a 4-point play.
Simmons, Butler, and Embiid, all with brutal turnovers in the final 4 minutes, negating any type of run. This is just sloppy basketball. And now Moose closes it out with a foul just so they can put Leonard on the line, where he's been deadly all night.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
and I don't know. I guess I'll start here, JD. We get it, man. I agree. That was a brutal call, and I don't know how you can get away with that. Joe brought up what we started, which is how the hell did they come out so slow at home in this huge game? And maybe you look at that, Harry, and say this game was lost in the first quarter, first half. They dug a hole so deep they'd never be able to come out of it. Or you look and say, despite all of that, you're still able to hover around, yet it was your top three guys that had crucial turnovers and mishandling of the basketball that undid you in the fourth, despite them bringing you back.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you could point to that early, the coming out slow and flat and all that stuff, and that's very true. They did get themselves in a position, and then your biggest players let you down, and then they're victimized by an atrocious call. But I'm more disappointed by the way they came out in the game. I really am. I expected more, especially coming off a loss in Sacramento, coming back home against a big time team that they know it's a thick game, that team that they don't beat. I expected a better effort, especially in the first and second quarter, and you didn't get it.
All right, reminder, we got the fan line right there at the top right corner of your screen. So as this thing winds down, you can pop right in there and answer the question, which I think when you look at it, it's a good one. And Harry answered it for him personally. Are you more upset that the Sixers came out flat, or the fact that the Sixers were close and were undone? They undid themselves in the fourth quarter. So are you more upset about how the Sixers started the game, or more disappointed in how they ended the game? And I think that's a fair question to ask, because it's been the tale of two games, or at least 3 quarters and 1 quarter, but it's come down to the same end, and that's sloppy basketball.
Yep.
I mean, this thing's over. There 12 points with a minute left.
It's definitely over. There's no doubt about it. I mean, you look at the turnovers. Ben Simmons has 6 turnovers tonight. Embiid has 4, which is kind of normal. McConnell had 4, which is kind of surprising.
Yeah. That's true.
They have 18 turnovers to Toronto's 10. And here's offensive rebounds. Toronto 15-5. They out-rebounded them total 41-34 thus far tonight.
Yeah, they got beat, I think, in a lot of areas. And it just seems like, I don't know. It just seems like this team, even when they got close, victimized by just mental mistakes. And that, again, that's been the consistency, I think, tonight. No matter when they got it close or when they were getting their ass beat, is they were sloppy. And even when things were going well, sloppiness undid them. Jared agrees with you. Says, agree, Harry, more disappointing start than the finish. I don't know yet. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that you brought it up, said, hey, it's the NBA, there are runs. This was what, a 5-point game?
Listen, I didn't give up on them, but to me, just the fundamental thing of coming off a road trip, losing to Sacramento, and I know Sacramento's not the dog meat that they used to be, but still, coming off a loss, coming back home against Toronto, I just expected a better effort to start the game, and it looked like they were just they were dead. They were flat. Granted, they got themselves back in the game, and they could have won the game. But to me, the overall sort of mindset of that annoys me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you're right. You lose 2 straight. It's not a bad point, and I don't want to over extrapolate by any means because I downplayed the victory itself. But I don't know, Harry. You have to think a little bit. You've got a young team, right? And I'll emphasize young, that went into Golden State and got that win. We've seen it all the time. Letdown games, look-ahead games, all these things. I wonder if there's a small lingering effect that this team went in there, beat the Warriors, and feel really good about themselves. And the Raptors just kind of gave them a reality check, like, you better wake the hell up.
Well, yeah, that's ended up being what happened. But let's go back from that and say, all right, we beat the Warriors. Yeah, we let down and we lost to Sacramento. But now we got to we as the Sixers, here's another Golden State. Here's the Golden State Warriors of the Eastern Conference. We got them at home. Let's go beat them. And they just came out flat. And that just disappoints me more than it does them missing opportunities late in the game when they had it close.
Really? So
yes.
The fact that they're able to battle back, yet
that's a moral victory. That's a moral victory.
Moral victory. What are you talking about? Moral victory?
I know, and I don't buy into that.
No,
you're getting credit for a moral victory. Oh, well, they battled back and they had a chance.
No, I'm saying that bothered me more, that they were close and blew it, and they undid themselves.
You blew it.
You blew it. What's that from?
Some mafia movie, or it might be Sopranos. I don't
know. No. Come on, Sheriff, you blew it.
What is it?
Copland.
Oh, okay. Rocky was in that movie. Stallone.
That's right.
Yeah,
Stallone
was De Niro. Wasn't De Niro in that movie?
Yes, that's who says you blew it.
Oh, okay.
Because De Niro's internal affairs, and finally Stallone wants to work with him, and he says, "Come on, Sheriff, you blew it."
Didn't Stallone's character have a hearing issue in that movie?
Well, he did.
He was a little slow.
Well, no, he was deaf.
Okay,
right. But then at the end of the movie, somebody lets off a shotgun next to his ear, and he can't hear anything. And the whole final scene of the movie is his perspective of like the ringing in the ear. It's it's a really underrated movie. Harvey Keitel.
I saw it.
Sheriff, arrest the whole town.
Yeah, it's a good. They call that ringing in the ear tinnitus. Do you know that's the real
I have
term.
It often.
That's
what working in radio does to you.
Yeah.
You know who else has tinnitus besides radio hosts?
Who?
Motorcycle riders and construction workers.
Is that right?
Do you remember the old commercial for tinnitus? When this is like when I was growing up.
Acting.
No, not tough acting, tinactin. No, not tetanitis either, right? Or tetanus or Tetris. But you had the old head, and it was like one of these dummy heads, and it showed you 3 different ways in which you got tinnitus. One of them was listening to music really loud. The other was
Pete Townsend.
Right.
Yeah.
And the other was riding it had a motorcycle helmet, and then it shifted to some construction guy. So that's basically what that's what the equivalent of working in radio is.
Okay.
Exactly right.
Mm.
Tinnitus.
Or doing a podcast with you.
Well, that's true too. I don't know if tinnitus is anything. Listen, I got to be honest with you, all right? And we're going to be back next week. We've got another game to get to. We appreciate everybody that stuck with us, knowing that it's a blowout. Hopefully we can provide a little more added entertainment, especially during a blowout. And things got a little tight and a little dicey here as well. But I got to be honest with you, Harry, this is not getting any easier. Next up are the Denver Nuggets.
Right.
It's
Nuggets
a home
and
game.
the Lakers on the weekend, and then
Right.
Boston and the Knicks, and then you got the All-Star break.
But
Yeah.
think about that. You've got the Nuggets and the
Mhm.
Celtics, 2 of the next 3 games. You better fix whatever the hell's going on that you've dropped 2 straight in this manner. You come out flat against the Nuggets, that center is going to pound you into the ground.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with you. And also, if you're Redick, who's missed the last 2 games, get some freaking Pepto-Bismol and get on the freaking court. Let's go.
What do you think?
Right.
The last time he's missed 2 straight with nausea and stomach issue.
Mm-hmm.
Safe to assume that the last time they played, he did or ate something. So they were in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Now, I bet you he went to some shitty restaurant or some spot that's got like, one of these local places that you would know, right?
Yeah.
Like we've got them here in Philly where it's like a dirty, filthy, shitty spot, but you know what? It makes the best fill in the blank you'll ever eat.
Right, right.
Yeah, go there. What are you talking about? The walking health hazard. But you know what?
Who does he think he is? Anthony Bourdain or that Andrew Zimmern guy? He's eating some fakakta, piece of shellfish.
Right, exactly right. He's eating bottom feeder crabs and other shit there, and he's out now for a week. It's irresponsible by J.J. Redick, to be honest with you.
I totally agree with you.
Well, you've got a tough one now coming up with the Nuggets. I don't really know at this point, outside of how flat they came out, if you see any semblance of that. Now, that's going to be on ESPN, and I'd say, hey, it's a national game, but look how poorly they came out in the TNT national game. This was embarrassing.
I mean, let's be honest. If I'm on TNT or ESPN in an NBA game, I'm more cranked up to play on TNT. That's just me.
Because of Charles?
Yes. Charles, Kenny, Shaq, the whole crew.
Okay.
It's just me.
You're not
the networks with the ESPN, ABC, and TNT. I'm a TNT guy.
You don't do the Jalen Rose and the other guys on there?
No. I love Beetle.
Yeah, Beetle's great.
Love Beetle.
Now we could get Beetle on the show.
Jalen Rose guy. Jalen Rose blocked me on Twitter, by the way, that pussy.
Is he right? Why? What'd you say?
Yeah. I said something. I didn't swear. I called him out for something. He blocked me years ago.
Typical.
Yeah.
Now we could get Beetle on once a week on the new show.
We could. We've had her on a few times.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of the Beetle.
She'll do it. She'll come on with us.
Yeah.
We should put that to the people.
We should.
Nobody's going to come on and talk sports, so.
No.
That we should make that clear as well. All right, well, we've got a busy week coming up, and I know that FanCred's going to have us on another game coming up this week when you start to look at it before the All-Star break. So we'll sneak in there again. You do have a couple of games next week before the actual All-Star break.
I'm hoping it's the Celtics game.
Well, I was going to lead into that. Our producer Cam is monitoring all the broadcasts and facilitating all the chats for you there. Boston is Tuesday. Boston would be a week from tonight, brother. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
confirmation. We will be doing the Celtics, Harry.
Oh, really? So we're not getting a pink slip?
No, not as of now, no.
All right, good.
We did. We're still on, all right?
Good. All right. Well, I'm in.
So the Sixers have a brutal start, a difficult ending. They drop a game. You know what? Even if they weren't going to beat the Raptors, the manner in which they played tonight, I think, is beyond frustrating.
That's more concerning to
I
me.
think you're right. Now 2 straight losses. They've come out flat, and the latest at home. But here's the good news. They have an opportunity to bounce back against a team in Denver, here in Philadelphia, on a national stage again. You'd like to think, all right, you got embarrassed on a national stage on TNT. Maybe you can bounce back and actually do something of note, of value, and win a damn basketball game on ESPN in a couple of nights. Is that too much to ask?
No, it's not. And then they got LeBron and the Lakers.
Will LeBron be out there?
Who knows? Who knows?
Probably not. I don't think LeBron's going to play until after the All-Star break.
Maybe if he doesn't get Anthony Davis between now and then, he probably won't play.
That's true. That could change everything. Here's the good news. We're going to be back with you for another Sixers fourth quarter live, courtesy of the great people at FanCred. We appreciate everybody. We'll be back a week from tonight. It's another 8 o'clock game. It's going to be on TNT, Harry. All right? So now you know ahead of time. It's going to be most likely blacked out. You're going to have to watch on the app. All right? We're telling you a week in advance. A week.
All right. I can only do so many apps. I can do FanCred. That's it.
All right. We'll make it work. For Harry Mays, I'm Eitan Shander. He's at Harry Mays to you. I'm at Shander Show. We appreciate everybody riding with us. We're back next week, Tuesday night, Sixers Celtics, for another great edition, courtesy of FanCred, of Sixers Fourth Quarter Live. See ya.